an investor who is looking at investing in mining and doesn't want to take that risk, they want something with an assurance of a return. Is there a sector in mining where they can actually branch into, knowing that the returns are guaranteed?
I would say the diamond mining.
The diamond mining.
Yeah, the diamond mining sector is one sector that is extremely rewarding.
Okay. Good evening, Africa. You are now live on Unique to Africa's page. We are still very much in Windhoek, where we are going around the city talking to different entrepreneurs, talking to business people, looking for places where Africans can invest. We have spoken to quite a few investors, and we are looking for avenues where they can invest in Africa. But we are still going around Africa looking for areas where investors can put their money or they can help Africans to grow. Luckily, we have been fortunate enough to come across a gentleman that is directly working for government, and he has a wealth of knowledge as to where people can invest in Namibia. Please help me welcome Mr. Andreas Sekutumba Simon.
Hi,
Good to
Alvin.
have you on the
Hi,
show.
Alvin. Good man. Good to be here. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And how are you doing?
Can't complain with it.
Just to let you know, Mr. Simon he was a senior public relations officer in the Ministry of Mines and Energy. Currently, he's the chief information officer for the Ministry of Information and Technology in Namibia. So he has a lot of information with regards to what investors looking to invest in Africa can do. And like I said, the aim of this channel is to encourage Africans to invest in Africa wherever they feel comfortable to do so. And but Namibia has proven to be one of those countries worth investing in. So thank you for giving us the time.
Thank you.
What can you tell us about Namibia before we go into investments and other stuff? Can you just give us a general picture of what to look for in Namibia?
Yeah. Look, Namibia is a country that has a lot of promise. And not just promise, but it can deliver as well.
Okay.
Namibia is, as you know, it is house to, I think, the oldest desert in the world.
Okay.
This is the one place that has got very unique, not just vegetation, but geology. It's remarkable, if I should say, because this is where the ocean meets the desert.
Okay. The
And the only,
ocean meets the desert.
yes, and then the only
Okay.
thing that's splitting them is that road from Swakopmund to Walvis Bay.
Okay.
This is the one country that has got remarkable tourism,
Yeah.
very good lodging, and all that wonderful culture in terms of food.
Yeah.
Various cuisines that you can find here.
Right.
It's also, I think, a preferred destination in terms of investment.
Correct.
Anything from agriculture to mining, trade, all that. This country is the one country that is safe.
Yes.
It is known for its very good political stability.
Correct.
There's a good fiscal regime that the country has, and I think we've been holding that banner for some time now. And I think not only that, but the very fact that it's the one country, because you guys are coming from SA,
Yes.
it's the one country that where you can actually trade or buy in rands. So you can use
Correct.
both
I
rands here.
noticed that.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can use both rands here and the Namibian dollar as well, and it's actually one to one.
Correct.
Yeah,
I that's one of the things that I picked up that made me really comfortable.
yeah.
I got here. I didn't even try to find out if I had to exchange the rands that I had. And when I got to the borders, I
Yeah,
wanted to buy something, and I realized I could just give them
you
my
can actually,
rands.
yeah,
And when the lady gave me change, it was a mixture of rands and Namibian
in
dollars,
Namibian dollars.
and I just carried on like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Wow, now that's beautiful. Now, because this channel wants to promote investment in Africa, we want to promote businesses in Africa. So we specifically looking for African entrepreneurs who are looking to invest. It doesn't matter where in Africa. So we're looking for suitable places, and we found out that Namibia could be one of them. But you are possibly the right person that could give us an insight into how possible that is. So, could you tell us some of the opportunities that investors might want to, or investors might have a reason to want to invest in Namibia, and in what areas?
Look, I think when you speak about investment, the first thing I think the investor would want to know is, can I come here? And if I can come here, how fast can I settle in?
Right.
With that said, we've got the BIPA, which
Okay.
is your business and intellectual property agency, where you register a company, anything from a CC to a PTY, and you can register a business in about less than a week.
Less than a week.
Less than a week,
Okay.
and
Does this apply to locals as well as people
both
coming
locals
from?
and also international as well.
Okay.
You can actually register a company here as an international person
Okay.
and be the shareholder. But obviously, there are some requirements here and there where you need to perhaps be joined with a local company.
Okay.
Sorry, with a local person.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is it just before you carry on? Is it possible to register the company while you're still planning to come into the country?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You can actually also just, if you have a company registered in South Africa or
Yes.
elsewhere, what you do is you can use the same name, the
Okay.
same articles that are used there, and that can just be transferred here as well.
That's
Yeah.
very good. But I guess that will not apply for someone who is, for example, in Tanzania because it's not part of SADC.
No, globally, it
Oh,
doesn't
that's
really matter where you are. It's not just applicable to SADC persons,
okay.
but anywhere in the world where you find yourself. I was just talking to a friend of mine in India,
Okay.
and he wanted to register a company, but it's the same company that's back in India. And
Yes.
the guys from BIPA said, look, let him just send all the information, and they use the same articles there, and then they just register the company, the same name, same everything.
Oh, that's
Perhaps what
beautiful.
would differ is the shareholding and the directors.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in some countries, for example, okay, I'm not going to mention names of countries here, but some countries would insist that locals have a certain percentage in the company. Does that same rule apply in Namibia?
Yeah, look, you look. It's in any setup where you go, you'd
Yeah.
want to also give preference to your locals, isn't it?
Correct.
And then you'd want to encourage that at least there are locals that are also taking part equity or shareholding into this particular business.
Yeah.
With us here, at least the local should have 51%,
Okay.
and then the international person has at least 49 or so percent.
Which is still fair.
Yeah, which is still
That's
fair.
that's that's very
And
fair.
then you just go into the modalities of how then would this work. And obviously, the investor can bring some of the either some of the funds,
Yes.
the capital,
Yeah.
and then the local, if they do have capital, they can put down theirs as well. Or
Or they can just provide sweat equity,
yes,
what we
absolutely.
call,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they can do the running around, open some doors where
Absolutely.
it
Yes. Wait.
takes where
It takes
it would take
longer.
you, let's say, 3 months to get an appointment with a minister. A local
Yeah.
can get it to you in about 3 to 4 days. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, now let's look at what opportunities are there. Look, I've been around Windhoek, and I think this is my third day in Windhoek. It's a very, I can call it in African context, an ultra modern city
Well, thank you.
with everything available at your fingertips.
Hmm.
I've enjoyed transportation. I've enjoyed fine dining. I've enjoyed interacting with the locals as well as few international guests that I met. So everything is quite accessible. But now we want to look at opportunities that exist also outside of Windhoek. I know there are other areas like um, Walvis Bay, there is Swakopmund, there is also Okahanja. Let's take an area like Okahanja, for example. What can an investor who does not want to be in Windhoek do in an area like Okahanja?
I think Okaanja's got a lot to offer.
Okay,
Okaanja is it's also almost central, just like Windhoek is.
okay,
Um, Okanja is one town that is really up and coming now.
okay.
Uh, I'm from Okanja myself.
Oh wow,
I
okay.
actually live in Okanja. I work in Windhoek, but I commute back and forth on a daily basis. Yeah,
On a daily
yeah,
basis.
on a daily basis.
How far is that from
It's
Windhoek?
about plus minus 60 to 65 kilometers from the capital.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's a bit of a drive, but it's still okay.
It's still okay.
Yeah.
We've got a dual carriage,
Yes.
two lanes going, two lanes coming back. So, yeah,
Okay.
so there's no traffic. In fact, I can't find the bottlenecks of traffic in Windhoek.
Okay, yes.
So, for me,
not while you're
once I drive
coming.
out of my yard, it's a smooth sailing across the board up
Okay.
until Windhoek. Yeah,
Wow.
but Okanja has there's there's room for warehousing, for example.
Okay.
Obviously, warehousing in Windhoek will cost you more,
Okay.
but in Okanja you can rent a warehouse even up to 7,000 per month.
7,000
And
Namibian dollars
NAM
per month.
dollars, which is equivalent to rents, and you won't
Okay.
get that in Windhoek. You won't. And this,
Um,
I'm talking about mega size units.
okay.
The space, yeah. So and safety, the town is safe.
Okay. Sorry, before we go to safety,
Yeah.
why did you mention warehouse?
Warehouses because look, there's a lot happening
Yeah.
from an agriculture perspective. Whether it's crop, whether it's meat processing, if you either need cold storages and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I would say get a warehouse in Okanja, for example.
I see. Okay.
Mining space, for example,
Right.
you need to when the commodities or the products or the ore comes from
Yeah.
the mining sites. You
Okay.
want to let it rest, for example, in a storage facility, maybe in Okanja.
Okay.
They might not be warehousing in Valfus where the ports are.
Okay.
I'm not too sure what the prices are there, but alternatively, if you can, stockpile
Yes.
and then do the warehousing in Okanja and then take a little from there and then take that to the ports, why not?
Good information.
Yeah.
And then you also mentioned safety.
Safety is look, it's safe. I'm not
Okay.
saying it's overly and 100% safe because crime is
Okay.
everywhere. But I think crime in Okanja itself, and not just Okanja, but the whole of Namibia, it's quite manageable.
Yeah.
We all know that some of these things are also brought up by other ills
Yes.
in society, either unemployment and stuff like that. But I think this is one of the challenges that government has been fighting, and they are putting things in place to ensure that we create as much jobs as we can and we
Yeah.
get these youths out there.
Okay.
But more on the opportunities, there's housing opportunities, and that's why I moved there because I bought a house there. It's a freestanding house in a development called Osona Village.
Osona Village.
Osona Village.
Okay.
You could buy a house anything from 5, 6, 7, 800,000 NEM dollars, which is equivalent to rents,
Okay.
which you won't find here in Windhoek. In Windhoek, you'll find houses going from, if you get a house for 900,000, you're very lucky.
For 900,000.
You are very lucky.
Okay. And you said this house that you got there is a freestanding house.
It's freestanding,
Okay.
big yard space.
Okay.
It's a 3 bedroom.
Okay.
I've got a small family,
Yeah.
and but it's extremely affordable.
That's good.
It's and it's for the middle class.
It's
It's
for
a
the
lot
middle
of middle
class.
class that are living there, and the opportunities there that are there is right now Osona has a capacity. No, in fact, before I go to the capacity, it has about 3 to 4 thousand houses built
Okay.
currently.
Yes.
But the capacity it can take, so
Yes.
more houses, is about 12,000.
12,000.
So it's still earmarked for them to build another 9 or so thousand houses.
If, for example, someone is listening to this interview or this conversation that we're having, and they're thinking, "Wow, this is an opportunity for me to invest in Okahanja," can they readily have a space where they can buy land and immediately start constructing?
Look, land is available.
Okay.
Land is available. I myself know of a group that does have a massive land available, and they have been looking for investors so that they could, do some developments, build some units,
Okay.
houses, either warehousing, like I said,
Okay.
and it is available. Obviously, you need to go through the normal requirements. So it's
Yes.
like talking to the local authorities, having this land transferred through the deeds office onto your name, etc., etc. But the land is affordable and it can be bought, and you can start as soon as possible.
Okay. And in terms of, I know this might not really be your area of expertise, but in terms of pricing, what are we looking at in terms of a piece of land? Like,
Piece of land. Right now, I think they're selling. If you drive out, you'll see it. Since you're also planning to go to Soccerpoint, which is our coastal town.
yeah.
When you drive into Okahanja, let's say 5 to 10 kilometers before you reach Osona village,
Yeah.
you'll see there's a big plaque indicating that there are plots for sale.
Okay.
5 hectares, 10 hectares of plots, 15 hectares of plots, 20 hectares of plots, and they can go anything from your 300,000 up to 900,000, 1 million to 1.3 mil,
That is not bad.
which is not bad. But
Yes.
it's unserviced, so you
It
need
is
to, yeah,
unserviced.
you would need to
Okay.
service the land yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people might be listening because we have different systems in different countries, and they might be wondering what you mean when you say unserviced land.
Unserviced land is this land that's not been worked on yet. It's still in its virgin state. There's still
Yeah.
the vegetation on it. So you need to service it depending on what you used
You plan to
the
do.
land for. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to service it, with certain specifications. Perhaps I think engineers will tell you how they would service it, but it's just removing the top
Yeah.
vegetation and leveling it up and compressing it and all this other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so you hear it. We do have land available where you can actually immediately acquire land and get into maybe real estate development. And he is very hands-on, Mr. Simon. He's got all the contacts within government and outside government. He can really connect you to the right people if you're looking at investing into a property. So yeah, if you're looking at investing in that area, Namibia is very safe. Okahanja is relatively safe compared to other cities that we've been to in Africa. So you're welcome to come to Okahanja at any time. His contact numbers will be available if you're looking at investing. Let's look at other opportunities that exist. What else can an investor wanting to invest in Namibia look up to?
Look, there's obviously your agriculture,
Yeah,
stock, which is now meat processing, meat, farming
yeah,
with stock, which is now animals and stuff. There's crop as well.
yes,
But I think for myself, to be more safe, I'll speak on the sectors that I'm quite well versant on.
yes.
I come from the mining and the energy spaces.
Yeah, I am very sure that there is a lot of people that are thinking mining. Oh, and before we go to mining, I saw on the news that oil was just recently discovered
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Namibia.
yeah.
Can you shed some light on that,
Yeah,
please?
this is fresh news.
Yes,
It's less
I
than,
saw
yeah,
that.
it's less than 2 years old. In fact,
Yes,
my office, when I was still with the Ministry of Mines
yeah,
about 4 months back plus, we my office was actually the first office to actually communicate that information to the
okay,
public. We have companies, oil majors, oil giants like Total Energies that are operating here.
yeah.
Shell is here. ExxonMobil is here. So these guys, Total Energies and Shell, they just discovered oil. It's about 11 billion barrels worth
11
of,
billion
yes,
barrels.
worth of oil.
We might just be getting
It's
oil
light
for
oil.
free.
It's light oil, and that's one of the latest discoveries that they've made. I think um, Gulp Energia, I think that's the company's name. They also discovered light oil. So I
Yes.
think there are about 4 discoveries made now in Namibia, and it's all offshore in the Orange Basin,
Okay.
but it's very deep. Especially the one for Total Energies is about 200 kilometers into the ocean.
200
Yeah,
kilometers.
yeah,
Wow.
into the ocean,
Okay.
and plus minus close to, if I'm not mistaken, about 22 kilometers down that you
Okay.
need to drill before you can actually extract this wonderful resource.
What does this discovery mean for an ordinary Namibian or for Africa?
It's big. It's big. Look, Namibia has been for the longest time trying to find oil,
Okay.
but we know that a lot of these works that they've done, the developments they've been hitting dry wells.
Yeah.
And just in 2022, they hit the first well that was
Yeah.
Total Energies, and it has been, you know, proving more successful as we go, because now it has attracted a lot of attention.
Yes.
Companies are coming in like the ones I've just explained,
Yeah.
and a lot of them, maybe it could also be because of the various technologies used back then. And now we
Okay.
know that technologies are actually
Very
being
advanced.
improved; they're very
Yeah.
advanced and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of opportunities that are still here. And what it means for Namibia, it means that there's opportunities for jobs. So there's
Yes.
a lot of employment that will be actually created.
Yeah.
There's opportunities for us to be able to actually develop more data to find out how furthermore potential are these reservoirs that we have. Because right now, the companies are doing resource calculations. They're just busy
Yeah,
doing,
because this might not just be the last one.
yeah,
It
yeah,
might be other wells
sure,
that are still
sure,
to be
sure.
discovered.
They're
Yeah.
busy doing well appraisals, and
Yeah.
we're just waiting for that data to come out now.
Okay.
There are other opportunities like local content advancements,
Right.
where locals can come in and provide services to these oil companies that are operating in the country. Housing, for example, will
Correct.
also boom as well. But overly, I think this actually means something positive towards our economy, and
Correct.
so our economy can then grow, and that's what we're all looking forward to.
In leaps and bounds.
That's what we're all
I
looking forward to.
yeah. No, no, that's a very good development that took place here, and we're all looking forward to it actually going further. More wells being discovered and more opportunities
Yeah,
created for both locals and people in the continent. All right, and then you, before I interrupted, you wanted to speak about the areas that you're quite versed in,
yeah,
which was mining.
yeah.
What opportunities are there?
Sure. I don't even know where to start.
Okay, you can start from anywhere.
Yeah. Look, I'm not sure how how acquainted you are with the mining space here in
Not
Namibia.
not much. Let me tell you what I know about mining.
Mhm.
I know about Zama Zama.
Okay, these are the legal guys, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know that they try to get the mines illegally, and it collapses, and then they get
They're,
buried underneath.
they're
So
trapped.
my knowledge of it is very shallow, but I do understand the language and how much investment it can bring, and I know that there is a big rush into that space, but I don't understand the technicalities around it. So if you can maybe shed some light around
Look
it, but especially looking at opportunities
at
that people
opportunities.
wanting to invest in that space can actually benefit from this conversation.
Yeah. Look, to start off, at the moment, currently, as we speak, um, the mining sector contributes close to 13% to the country's GDP. That is a big portion.
13. That, yeah, that's correct.
But usually it's on and off. So you might find it 9% moving up to 11, 10, 13. It hasn't really gone below 11% for the longest time. So it's always been between 11 and 13%
Okay.
contribution to the GDP. So that's big. A
Yes.
huge portion of that comes from diamond mining,
Yes.
and diamond mining is also the oldest mining operation in the country, followed by uranium,
Yes.
and but obviously, before I even talk about the opportunities, maybe I need to talk about the requirements.
Okay.
Because when you come into the country, obviously, and you want to take up mining concessions, you need
Yes.
to obviously have a local company
Yeah.
registered here.
Yes.
Locals, both locals and international people can apply for licenses, which are called EPLs, or your exclusive prospecting licenses. But there are many other licenses which the Ministry of Mines and Energy actually gives.
To even to foreigners that come into the
Yeah,
country.
yeah.
What did you say?
Like you can even own. You're from SA. You can actually own a license yourself,
And how long does it take
and
to have one?
it depends, because it's normally between a month to 2 months, up to 3 months maximum
Okay.
waiting period, because it also depends on the number of applicants,
Okay.
and then also it depends on how regularly or how often the committee sits, because
Oh,
yes,
yes.
because
Okay.
there's a mineral
Committee.
license advisory committee
Yeah.
that sits, and then they would then go through, and then your application, do a whole assessment, and to see whether you actually do qualify or not,
Okay.
and then they will recommend to the minister to grant or to refuse you that license.
I see.
So once you have done the application, you've paid all the, I think it's about 10,000 to
Okay.
apply, and then once you get the license, you can start doing your exploration work.
Okay. And
Right now,
what did you say is the name of this license?
no,
Just
there are a number of licenses. There's anything from your mining claim. Mining
okay.
claims are only awarded to Namibians,
Okay.
predominantly, strictly.
Okay.
Why? It's because a claim is a smaller area. It's about 18 hectares by 18 hectares. That's only given to Namibians. Namibians can own up to 10 claims. Like if you are a Namibian, you can apply up to 10 claims. 18 hectares times 10.
Okay.
And then you mine like gemstones,
Oh, I now understand. So
Yes,
I was trying to get the concept of claims. So
yes.
claims are
Are
basically
smaller in size, only
okay.
only granted to Namibians.
Okay.
But the Namibian can also team up with an international person to invest or work on the claims.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
but then there are other licenses such as your reconnaissance licenses, mineral retention licenses, EPLs, which are the famous ones. And then once your EPL, which is your exclusive prospecting license,
Yeah.
that's only used for prospecting research. It's a research license. You're trying to find out what commodities are found where,
Yeah.
and how big are these deposits. Once you've quantified it, you've done your resource calculations. How long can you mine it for example?
Yeah.
What are the ore grades that are found there, etc., etc. Once that has been confirmed, now you switch that EPL over into a mining license.
Okay.
So these are all the various licenses, but I think the Ministry of Mines and Energy will have more information when we go there.
Okay. All right. No, that's perfect. I think we get a picture now of what
Yeah,
that is.
yeah.
Okay.
So the opportunities there is immense. I mean, Namibia is known for commodities such as diamonds, like I said, uranium, gold, copper, zinc, lead,
Yeah.
gemstones, which is also referred to as your semi-precious stones,
Yes.
dimension stone, which is your marble and granite, and we are new now in the space of lithium.
Okay.
Lithium, but I don't I hate referring it to it as just lithium, because lithium is what you extract from the ore.
Correct.
So you have either lepidolite or spodumene, and these are pegmatites that you can find elsewhere in the region, across the countries. Like your Erongo region are predominantly known for that. In the southern parts as well, Kunene as well.
Yeah.
But right now, we have there's a lot of attention now drawn to lithium, mainly because of what it's used for.
Yeah.
Do you know that it's used in the lithium in this the electric vehicles? And
Oh,
yeah,
that's one
so
of the
yes,
components.
so
Okay.
you find lithium batteries and stuff like that, and
And the lithium batteries.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they would need this mineral to actually produce
And
these
that
electric
is
vehicles, and even
and that can be mined here in
yeah,
Namibia.
yeah, it can be mined here.
Okay.
We just the government just pushed out an order not too long back, a couple of months back, sometime last year, where there is a prohibition
Yeah.
of the export of raw lithium ore.
Yes.
Why? It's because we want companies that come here to actually start adding value locally. So
Okay.
these are efforts to encourage these investors or these entities that are coming to actually start setting up processing plants locally. Well, it depends also on the volume that you intend to push out. So if there's a certain amount, I think if it's something like 20 tons and below,
Yes.
then you can send that out, because they normally use it either for testing purposes, research purposes. They're trying to find market and stuff like that. But if it's
Okay.
beyond 20 ton and up, then you must add value locally. So
Okay.
lithium is one of the biggest avenues and spaces that any investor would want to look at, and um, there are licenses,
Okay.
there are EPLs which are looking for investment. The investors must know that, unfortunately, Namibia is still very young,
Yeah.
and having said that, not much exploration has been done. The country has been mapped, yes.
Yes.
We'll be able to tell you, where are certain minerals found,
Yeah.
but in terms of exploration,
Yeah.
drilling work, not much has been done. So there's not much data available.
Okay.
So a lot of investors, I know, they always look at, they're looking for brown fields that are already been worked on, where
Yes.
value has been
Yes.
added. They just come in, it's a plug and play, and
Okay.
they start working. But
They don't want to do the
unfortunately,
background work.
no, because it's a lot of work, and not only that, but exploration is high risk.
Yeah.
Because remember, you don't know what is beneath the earth.
And there might be nothing.
Yes, you can pump in, let's say, start-up capital of about 11 million rands,
Yeah.
and in about 6 to 8 months, you find that there's nothing, and you need to pack up and move. So
Wow.
it's really just gambling.
Yeah.
So I think one can also understand the perspective or the position of the investor by saying, look, I would want to first be assured of
Yes.
what is beneath the earth.
Right.
With the Ministry of Mines and Energy, you can actually get desktop studies or reports,
Okay.
which a lot of investors would tell that's not much for us. It doesn't mean anything. But if there could be historical data that you can also get from the Ministry of Mines, and
Okay.
that historical data can at least give you some sort of understanding whether there has been some work done there or not.
Okay.
Because previously, pre-independence, before
Yeah.
independence, there were a lot of companies that did some work here. They went with the drilling data, but
Yeah.
then they left the historical data.
I see.
So the historical data could also give you some sort of, at least some sort of understanding.
So now an investor who is looking at investing in mining and doesn't want to take that risk, um, they want something with an assurance of a return.
Mhm.
Is there a sector in mining where they can actually branch into, knowing that the returns are guaranteed?
I would say the diamond mining.
The diamond mining.
Yeah, the diamond mining sector is one sector that is extremely rewarding.
Okay.
It's really promising.
Yeah.
It's the oldest sector
Yeah.
in the country, but obviously you need to know what you're doing when you go in there.
Yeah.
Some say that the commodity is now getting depleted onshore,
Okay.
but I highly doubt that. I think what we just need to do is we just need to scale up
I think
our efforts for
I think
research.
that's what they do when they try to scare
Yeah, yeah,
business
yeah.
people and all that, or the market when they're creating that
A
hype.
lot of the material is still sitting beneath the ocean.
Saying
Yeah, so there's a lot of um, material which is still sitting in the ocean, offshore.
yeah,
We do know that um, Dep Marine,
yes,
which is basically the JV between NAMDEP and the Namibian government, they're
okay,
mining in the ocean. So they're mining alluvial diamonds and beautiful material, beautiful
okay,
material, and that's coming out of our ocean, the Atlantic Ocean.
all right,
But there are other avenues as well. Copper is one of them.
yeah,
They can mine for copper here as well. We do know that copper is also, you cannot talk about electric vehicles. You cannot talk about advancements in technology and stuff like that without
yeah,
thinking about copper. We need
correct,
copper for everything. So that's one other avenue that I would advise investors to also look at as well.
okay,
There's dimension stone, granite, marble. People are looking for housing. People are looking for proper houses.
yeah,
They can come in and come mine these blocks
okay,
and set up value addition factories here to
yeah.
cut and polish, to edge, and to do all these things. And then these they can be turned into slabs for your kitchen and the tabletops and tiles and stuff.
Or you're referring to the marbles?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
So you can actually get this from Namibia.
Yes, no, definitely we have very big spaces. If
Yeah.
I should say they're big mountains, you'll see it when you drive to Sokopmund, massive mountains, and they have either granite or marble,
Okay.
or both.
You're talking about the same marble that we use for the kitchens, for kitchen tops, for
For tabletops,
counters.
all these
Yeah.
countertops and all this other stuff. It's
Okay.
found here, prime material. This is natural stuff. It's
Okay.
beautiful, yeah.
I can imagine the number of people who are actually looking for such an opportunity. Now, my next question, can Unique to Africa then use you as a point of reference
Not a
to
problem.
people that are looking for either information or trying to invest
Yeah,
or
sure. I
find out
mean,
investment opportunities in Namibia?
why not? Look, I believe that everyone's an ambassador of your country.
Correct.
Whether you work in government or whether you work in the parastatal or the SOE entities or either in private.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because I'm also an owner of an investor locating firm. So my company does investor locating and commodity trading.
Okay.
It's registered.
Isn't doesn't that isn't that, what did they use that word? Isn't that like a conflict of interest because you are currently employed in
No,
government?
it's not. It only becomes once you don't declare.
Okay.
Because government requires you to declare your interest outside of government.
Correct.
And once you've declared, you also need to then ask for permission to continue doing that work outside of government.
Absolutely.
So with Upper Think Investment, we declare every year.
Yes.
We've declared, and we've also asked for permission to continue. And I have the letter where I've been authorized as
Oh
well.
no, that's
So
perfect
yeah,
then. Okay. All right. So I would like actually to use you as a point of reference, because a lot of people that will be watching this and they're really genuinely keen on investing in Africa, they will be asking that question. Okay, we have this information now. Where do we go to?
yeah,
What next? So I will have your contact details readily available, and viewers who are interested in investing in Namibia and looking for more information to invest, we will have all the details on our screen at the end of the show, so they can actually look up to that. Before we round up, you enlightened me about something that I had no idea about. That was off air. You mentioned synthetic um, diamond.
yeah,
Can you please look? A lot of women when they getting married, uh, they'll go to these shops with all this glitz and glamour in front of them, looking for these carrots that they want to have on their fingers. But the shops never tell them, because that's the question I asked you. Do they have um, are they exposed to this information that some of the diamonds that they have is synthetic, that it's been built in a lab?
yeah,
It's not natural. Can you just enlighten us a little bit on that,
yeah.
so that they also understand the difference between natural diamond and synthetic diamond?
Yeah. Look, I'd start off by saying synthetics are real. And
Okay.
what I mean by that is they do exist.
Okay.
You do find lab grown diamonds. They are in the market out there.
Right.
Namibia doesn't subscribe to them.
Okay.
Yeah. So if anyone's trading synthetic diamonds in the country, it's illegal.
Illegal. Okay.
Yeah. Whether they are raw or or either processed. But um, whether the jewelers would tell you that this is synthetic or not, I'm not too sure. I think the onus would be on the one who's buying to ask, or to walk in and say, look, I want to buy a stone,
Yeah.
fit it into a ring for my fiance, and I want it to be a natural stone.
Okay.
And I think sometimes you also look at the price. So you would quickly know
Yes.
that,
Yes. That's a
yeah,
factor. Yeah.
synthetics should and will always be more less.
Yeah.
They'll be
Costly.
less.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be less costly, less pricey than a real diamond. But they do exist. I myself, I am a diamond ambassador,
Okay.
appointed by De Beers, by the De
Okay.
Beers Group.
I know the DBS group. Yeah.
Yeah, and my job is it's actually myself and a couple of others. Our job is to actually market and tell the story of natural diamonds, Namibian natural diamonds,
Okay.
and why we would want you to rather buy natural versus synthetic.
Okay.
But synthetics they are real, they do exist, and it's just our role to ensure that they become less and less in the
In the
market.
market.
But there are people out there that would tell that they also prefer synthetics because I think synthetics perhaps were developed to also be able to cater for those who couldn't afford
Correct. Yeah.
the natural stone.
Yeah.
But as true as it is, who would want to buy material that's been produced overnight in a lab somewhere? It is a diamond,
It is
but
a
it's just that
diamond. Yeah.
it was produced, in a lab.
In a lab.
Therefore, it becomes synthetic. But then you'd want to have something that is more natural, where you
Natural.
can feel the cool on your finger, for example,
Right.
and it brings out that vibrancy of its natural self, for example. And a natural diamond can give you that. It's
Absolutely.
beautiful, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
So also marrying someone, you're trying to portray her value,
Yeah.
and that's what you want to do. You want to ensure that you give your bride the best, you know, the best
Absolutely.
gift. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
but they are there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in Namibia, doesn't subscribe to them, like I said. So if anyone wants to come to Namibia to come buy diamonds,
Right.
it will only be natural diamonds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. There is this question that I ask everyone, and you, especially being an ambassador for your country, promoting Namibia, for couples that just wedded and they're looking for a destination for their honeymoon. What hotel, what restaurant would you recommend to those couples?
Look, I would say for the honeymoon, you want to do something more outdoor.
Right.
You'd want to come all the way from wherever, and then you get stuck into a hotel. The
Okay.
hotel should just maybe be you drop in the country, and then once you land, then you can maybe go to either Avani Hotel, or you can go to the Hilton Hotel. You can go to Protea Hotel,
Yes.
and then there are many other smaller accommodation or lodges that you can find here. But I think if you wanna come celebrate your honeymoon, for example, if you wanna come be away, I would rather say do something outdoor, something
Okay.
that's more adventurous.
Okay.
You can go to Etosha, for example.
Etosha.
Etosha,
Okay.
that's the national park,
Yes.
and you can go do a game drive, and or you can go to Halali or Okapoyo or Mokuti Lodge, for example.
Okay.
Or alternatively, you can also look at going to places like Sausage Play, where you
Okay.
can go and see the dead flay. It's like a place in the desert where these trees, these dead trees are, and then it's I think there's like a salt pan or something, but it's
Okay.
beautiful. So you can even Google the dead flay,
Dead
Namibia,
flay.
dead flay Namibia.
How do you spell the flay?
Flay is V,
O
yeah, or,
V
yes,
L E
yes,
I.
yeah,
Okay. All right. I think I
yeah.
know. It's almost like an Afrikaans
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
Okay.
And then there are other places like Hoodia, for example,
Yeah.
that you can also go and see. And then there, in fact, when you go to Hoodia, I think you even have there's a place where you can just watch the stars and then you see the constellations.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
All right.
So I would advise for a couple, especially a young couple, not just young, but
Okay.
also an older couple. Maybe they're celebrating their anniversary, 30 years,
Yes.
40 years, 50 years. Come to Namibia, and there's a lot that we can offer apart from just the investment in mining in agriculture and all this, but also just the tourism side of things as well, and the history behind the country.
And the history
It's
behind it.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm aware of that. All right. That was Andreas Sekutamba Simon. Like I said, he used to work for the Ministry of Mines and Energy. He was the public relations officer. He is currently still an ambassador for the BAs, and currently holds the position of the Chief Information Officer at the Ministry of Information and Communications, or Information Technology.
Yep.
And he has been talking to us about the investment opportunities that exist in Namibia. And we are asking Africans and people all over the world who would like to invest in Namibia to please come forward and do so. It's a very safe country. It's a mining heaven for those people that do not know. Housing and real estate opportunities are just endless. If you would like to invest in Namibia, you are so much welcome to do that. We do have a direct contact to Mr. Simon. So if you're looking at talking to him directly, you're welcome to do so. And wherever you are in Africa, we will be visiting you. Please pop us an email. You will have the email address on our screens. At the comment section, you can also leave us the name of your business, where it is situated, which country you're in, what city, and we can visit you and do a completely free publicity for your business. We want to thank all of you for watching, and we hope to see you again. Thank you, Mr. Simon,
Thank you, Evan.
and
It was
thank you for the
really
opportunity you afforded us.
You're welcome, and it was really nice to talk to you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.